Hello people! Today we're going to be doing a set that I'm calling Woodland Creatures. And I'm going to be starting off with a medium length curved almond shape. I don't use these very often, but since I hadn't done them in a long time, I thought I'd try this shape. It's also going to be a hodgepodge of different nail polish brands on this set because I needed certain colors. So I'm starting off with Beetles. And you'll see all these will be listed in the description. Now I've sped this up a little bit so you don't have to sit through these polishing segments as long as it took me to do. This is pretty straightforward polishing on this part. You do want to be careful to get really thin coats. A couple of the colors I had a little bit of an issue with wrinkling, and I had to fix that. Okay, on this nail we're going to do an ombre. I'm going to use that kind of, I don't know what you call it, color, taupe maybe, along with the brown that I used for the pinky. And then we're going to get my ombre brush out, and then we are going to just flick it back and forth. Now, like I said, this is sped up. I wish I could go that quick. I end up spending a lot more time on this ombre on the first coat than I really needed to. But you're just going to keep flicking it back and forth, move it up and down a little bit until you get a blend that you're happy with. And if you collect up too much polish on your brush, you can just wipe it. Apologize ahead of time if you hear me sniffling a little. I have a massive allergy attack the last couple days. And now there's people out there working or doing something, making a lot of racket. Of course, right when I decide to do my voiceover. Oh well, what can you do? Okay, and I'm happy with that for the moment. And we're going to do a wood grain nail. Now, I've been seeing these, Natalie Mugridge has been doing these lately, and I wanted to take a shot at it. So that's what we're going to do. Now what you do is just take the different colors you're going to use and just put little dots on there. Now on this particular nail, I did not get I was leery of getting the dots too thick and heavy and then having my polish wrinkle, so consequently I put them on thinner than I should have. On the second nail I did, which I did not film, it worked much better because I made the dots on there heavier. Whatever colors you're going to use, and then I also added in, besides the ones I already started with, a Makartt, a really dark brown. But you're just going to dot it on there. Eventually I will get them all dotted on. Then you're going to take your ombre brush again, and you're just going to drag it down the nail. Now this one is going to end up being a little muddier than I would like because like I said, I didn't get my dots on there heavy enough. So there were some parts that wasn't getting good coverage, and I had to go back over and try to get those to fill in. The key to it is put on good sized dots, but not so much, not so heavy that it's going to make super thick and wrinkle. because the more you brush over it, the muddier it's going to get. The colors are going to blend together, and that's kind of what you don't want for this one. But when you see the picture at the end where you see the full set, you'll see that the other one looks a lot better. Also, I lost a bit of the green on here because I had to brush it too much. Eventually, I'm going to be happy with this, and then I am going to cure that whole rack of nails for, I believe I did 60 seconds. And now we're ready for second coat. This one I've also sped up. Sorry. The only one that we're not going to put a second coat on is that wood grain one that I lastly just did because it doesn't need it. But the rest of these got to have 2 coats. And we'll go back to the ombre nail. And at warp speed, we're going to blend those 2 together. I did attempt to do one for the other hand. I tried to do with the sponge and blot it on like I do with regular polish, but it does not work very well for the gels. I think they're too thin, and most of the stuff was soaking into the sponge, so it wasn't staying on there well enough for me to get a good coating on there to blend. So now I know why nobody does it that way for gel polish. But it does work great if you're just using regular polish. And we got the second coat on. I'm going to cure those again. And now we are ready, and I'm bumping my head on the camera. Sorry for that. Now this is where it's going to get tricky. Okay, I'm using stickers for these. These are pop finger stickers. I moved my setup at a higher from my desk in an effort to keep me from bumping my head on it, which didn't totally work, but also created a new problem as I bend over a little bit so I can see what I'm doing better to get these stickers off of here. I was getting the top of my head in the shot and blocking the shot with that. So I tried to cut that out on most of the places where it happened. So it's going to be kind of choppy. And there's some parts where just a little bit of my hair is on, so I just left it in there. Sorry about that. I think I'm just going to move my setup back down to where I originally had it. And just try harder to keep from bumping the camera. My desk space is kind of limited, so I don't have a lot of good area to have my setup on there. Now I did have some issues with these this time because these kind of nails are curvier than what I'm used to using. And so consequently the edges of the stickers did not want to lay flat. Now here I'm just cutting off the excess of that one where I had it real close to the edge and I didn't want anything hanging over. But you're going to see me doing a lot of extra fussing trying to get these edges to lay down because they kept having bubbles and getting like kind of wrinkly at the edge because of the curve of the nail. So I had to spend a lot more time getting them to lay down. I have sped this section up too a bit, so you don't have to sit through as much of me doing that. Part of this is going to be sitting here watching me trying to decide which ones I'm going to use on there. aside from the creatures that I ended up using, I did go with mushrooms and acorns and some random leaves. These little leaf sprays, though, don't show up on there as well as I hoped that they would. And here I am again trying to get those to lay down. Normally these stickers work really nicely and I don't have all these problems. But also normally I'm working on a flatter nail than these. And when all else fails, resort to grabbing whatever's handy to try to get them to lay down. There's the top of my head again. Geesh, I can't win with this setup. Hopefully I will eventually get it figured out so I don't have all these issues. On the bright side, I did manage to keep everything pretty much in frame and in shot this time. And this guy, this acorn, did not want to cooperate, kept trying to escape. But there is no escape. When I'm determined to do a set, I'm going to finish it if it kills me. And we got one more. No, we don't. We got two more. There's kind of a lot of this, me trying to decide what I'm going to put on where. Some of it I cut out. And after all that, I decided not to put any more on that one. Now we're on the last one. Okay, I won't show you, I did not film doing the other hand worth of stickers on there. I'm sure you get the gist of it by now. But it is really crucial to get the edges of those stickers down flat, because if anything is sticking up when you top coat, it's going to leave a bubble or it's going to run underneath the sticker and then you really aren't going to get it to lay down. Plus your sticker may decide to peel off later on if it's not totally flat. Okay, I believe I have finished those. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take a glossy top coat and a white top coat, and I'm going to coat these really well to seal those stickers in. And just make sure everything is lying down nicely. Now after I got these done, there were a couple of little tiny spots that were sticking up a little bit. So I went back with my buffer and just kind of buffed that down till I had them smooth before I'm going to go in with the final top coat. Now this one, I kept getting little bits of chunky stuff in there that was getting picked up from the edge of my bottle because I haven't cleaned that one very well. And we're on the last one of those. And I will cure these for 60 seconds. And now they're done. And now I'm going to go on with the final top coat. And it's going to be a matte top coat. Now the reason I didn't do just 2 layers of matte top coat is because the matte top coat is kind of softer, and it's just not seem as sturdy as the glossy. So I like to seal stuff in good with the glossy top before I put the final matte on. And surprisingly, there will be no stones or crystals or any other embellishments on these. I know it's kind of unlike me, but can't put them on everything. Not everybody likes them. And when I get these done, I will be curing those for 60 seconds. And there they are all done. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a like. And if you want to see more, you can subscribe. And I thank you very much for watching.